2020 was a challenging year for all of us. It was also a year that was remarkable for many reasons. People that made huge transformations to become more than they've ever imagined. People that lost jobs, yet were able to transition into entrepreneurship during a very difficult time. People began to become more resilient and use grit to go from a place of comfort to a place of uncomfort to learn and grow. We are now into the second quarter of 2021. We are now in a period where it's time to level up. What are you doing to level up and to become more, to become the example for others to do the same? This is one of the best times ever that we can all level up, to begin to look at our strengths and our skills, to not only become more, but to put out new innovative ideas and products and services that people will require moving forward. My name is Chris Salem. I'm an executive coach, and I'm going to be sharing with you today during this 20 minutes of how you can become a trusted advisor in your business, become an influencer to have more of an impact on the people that really matter in your circle of influence. Before we start, I'd like to ask you, what is a trusted advisor mean to you? Think about that word, trusted advisor. Now, you probably wrote down something, but what I'm asking you to do is not to overanalyze or overthink it. Just write whatever comes to mind. See, a trusted advisor is not what you do. It's why you do what you do. I'm going to share with you a way that you can level up to become more by really displaying why you do what you do to be more compelling to others. A trusted advisor recognizes that this is not a job, but it is a way of life, something you do 24/7 to become more through your own core values, to be the example and be more compelling to the people you serve. So think about a realtor, for an example. Is it because you're a realtor that is why someone is going to do business with you? Think about that for a minute. In a 60-mile radius, there could be 10,000 real estate agents, whether if they are part-time or full-time. Why would someone decide to choose you if they didn't know you from Adam? With that being said, it's not what you do that is going to relate to someone. It's why you do what you do. How are you compelling to them? Think about that in your business. This is a time again to level up. So I'll give you an example again from the realtor, what I was describing. Let's say that there's a real estate agent that's struggling. They were struggling even before COVID, they were struggling during COVID. And they were trying to connect with their audience based upon what they did. And what do? They list homes, they sell homes, they help people to get people into homes, maybe rent an apartment, rent a condo, whatever the case may be. See, when people are connecting with you, it's not, again, based on that what, but why. Here was a great example of that. There was a woman that I knew that really had strong family values, and that she contributed to a volunteer organization in the town that she lived in. And she was a great writer. That was one of her strengths. And she was able to leverage that strength of writing, producing compelling content around family-related matters and stories. Many people in the community read her articles. People that were planning to move into the community also would read her articles. The disconnect was they were connecting with her on her why. They just didn't know what she did outside of just being a writer for those articles. She simply put not only her name, but also that she was a realtor. She wasn't promoting any listings in that article. She was simply just writing the article like she would always do, but simply signed it stating that she was a realtor. She began to get calls from people and referrals from people when they knew now what she did, because they connected first with why she did what she did. It was those shared values, in this case, family. She had strong family values, like other people had the same, or they could have sensed that she was someone that they could trust. She was honest, ethical. See, when people connect subconsciously on shared values and they connect with that why, they're more likely now to want to know what you do and how you can serve them or serve someone else that they feel they can trust to send to you. So in this case with the realtor, when she was connecting on those family values, people that were reading that content felt related to and understood subconsciously on some level. That content was compelling to them. And because they were able to really relate also back to her on those shared values, guess what happened? She was able to, again, get those phone calls. She started getting referrals from people at the time she didn't even have a strong relationship yet with, one-on-one. People buy and feel comfortable referring based upon connecting on shared values. So it's what is compelling to people first that will help you with what you do to stand out and be unique. See, many times we feel that we have to stand out and be unique when it comes to our branding. Branding doesn't have to be direct with what we do. It can be indirect and why we do what we do with the example I just gave you. So think about, again, as a trusted advisor or an influencer in your business. We are not here to persuade someone to see our point of view or to see on how our service can help solve their problem. When we haven't given them a reason to connect on those values first, they're not going to be in a position to even be able to absorb that. But if we can be compelling to people and empower them by sharing, not telling, sharing information that empowers them to draw their own conclusion, when people feel now they're empowered to make their own decision, to find out more, through the power of asking questions soon after, we can gain permission to ask if they are open for a suggestion, to open to something that we can solve their problem. Now, knowing what you do will become important to them. So as a trusted advisor, think about how that can transform your business and why you do what you do, no matter what that is. And this is not something we turn on when we are running our business. This is something that we do 24/7 as a parent, a spouse, a partner, a member of your community, your church, people you do business with, people who work for you. It's connecting and being compelling on those shared similar values. When we can get into a rhythm of doing that, we have the ability now to build a foundation that we can help to not only jumpstart our business, but even if it's already been running for a while, we can scale it to the next level. We can sustain it, whatever that means to you. What I'd like to share with you today is the power of also values and solidifying that foundation. Ask yourself, what are the values that signify who you really are, not someone else? There are many people out there looking to pretend to be someone else that they're not, thinking that if I be a certain way or I adopt the values of someone else because they're successful, I will too. Now, it's okay to model yourself after someone, but by becoming them is not going to make you successful. It's really honoring what those values that really mean to you. I know for me, it's transparency, honesty, integrity. That doesn't mean that's going to be the same for you, but if you are trustworthy, you value someone who follows through and you're ethical, those are shared values. That's someone that is unlikely to be compelling to, that will feel related to and understood. They're more likely in time to feel like they could trust me where I could potentially help them. What do those values mean to you? How do they align with your business? And then more importantly, how does that align with the people you serve? See, the reality is we're not going to be everything for everyone, but we're always going to be something for someone, in this case, more than one person. It's getting right with those values. When we can combine that with compelling content that connects with people, we can now have a foundation that will allow us to sustain and grow our businesses, to be of more value. Again, this is all subconscious. People may not even be aware of this consciously. You ever notice that when you are around a certain person and they're sharing information that is quite helpful, you just feel good about them? You're not even sure why. You just know that you just got that feeling. It's subconscious. This is why it's so important as a trusted advisor to be compelling first by why you do what you do from those core values. And then once that connection has been made, whether it's the first time over a period of time, people now are more likely to know what you do that can help solve their problem. What you do where they feel they can refer someone to you. I don't know about you, but I don't want to be caught up in just with funnels and chasing people into my business. I rather really honor the values that represent me as a human being and just connect with people where they are, sharing contextual content that empowers them to draw their own conclusion. It's not about, again, me chasing people for the fact that I just want to get someone into my business. It's connecting where that value has been provided consistently, and they decide that they want to work with you. And they're going to refer you, because people who do their part with what you do in terms of your service are going to have a better experience. Trusted advisors know this. This is a perfect year for 2021 to really get in tune with that. 2020 provided us a way to really reflect and look within to see what we're really made of. That it was a time to level up, to become more than you've ever imagined. Adopting that role as a trusted advisor or an influencer gives you the opportunity to just do that. And you become more, not just in your business, you become more as a human being. Someone that is providing value consistently in terms of how you help them through your example, how you are resourceful to help them help themselves, moving you away from codependent behavior and communication to interdependent communication and behavior. See, there's more power in making a difference with your customers and other people when we can be resourceful and be the example for them to do the same for themselves, not just doing for them, pleasing and enabling. It's coming from empathy and kindness to empower them, not disempower them through pleasing and enabling. One being interdependent, one being codependent. I'm going to share with you some of the concepts that you can go about becoming a trusted advisor and why you do what you do in your business to help be the first stage of building that foundation to start growing your business. There's 5 I's to becoming a trusted advisor. The first one is called insight. See, what is insight? It's knowledge. See, knowledge is great. We call that intellectual intelligence. Many times we want to see evidence-based information that helps support something that we may require to help solve our problem and create a solution for ourselves or the customers we serve. But when we really look at it, if we're not able to apply that knowledge, then that's all it is knowledge. It's insight. See, when we look at insight from a trusted advisor perspective, we have to be able to share it in a way that's compelling, that allows people to now do something with it based upon their own conclusions to it. It's not telling them how to do it. It's sharing so that they decide what and why to do with it. Now, when we have that insight, we have to do it also with the second I, and that's initiative, to be proactive rather than reactive. As people, and even as companies, when we can be proactive, we have the ability to now to see when a problem starts to arise that we can nip it where it's at to create the solution. We're not waiting for the problem to escalate and be reactive to then go ahead and solve it. Being proactive establishes this presence of confidence, not only with you personally, but also within your business. When people come from a level of confidence, not one from arrogance or ego, but one from gratitude, one from feeling from a place of being present in the moment of peace, people feel more calm. They feel more drawn in. So it's taking the initiative to be proactive. Now, the third I, we already discussed that. That's influence. not persuading someone to see your point of view, yet to be the example and to empower people to draw their own conclusion. There is power in that. Number 4, it's impact. See, impact signifies the consistency in why we do what we do. If you are putting out contextual content, whether if it's indirect or direct to your business or a combination thereof, it's how consistent are you being in front of people? Is it daily? Is it every other day? The more consistent we can be with impact, the better we are in connecting and being compelling, so that why becomes the what that leads to business that you're seeking to grow. It's continuously adding value. This could be, again, not only social media, it can be leveraging your strengths, speaking on stages, virtual summits like that you see here, radio, podcasts, videos. Maybe you're a writer and you're writing blogs and articles or writing books. It's leveraging those strengths that you have the ability to connect and be compelling to your audience. Now, we've described 4 I's. Now, the 5th one is very important. It's what we call integrity. And integrity is like, think of it like the glue that makes it all stick together. See, the 4 I's could not really have an impact in allowing you to become a trusted advisor without integrity. So what is integrity? What does that mean to you? When you think about that word integrity, ask yourself what that means to you. See, integrity means that you're doing the right thing when no one's looking. So as a trusted advisor, let's say, for instance, someone comes to you and you're a coach and they need your help. And they've described through the discovery process their specific situation. And after a deep dive, you realize you could help them, but you know there's someone even better for their particular situation. Now, would you turn the business away and recommend the other person, knowing that person would be better for this situation? Or do you go ahead and take the business? See, when you're able to come from integrity, you're doing the right thing when no one's looking. Even if it means to turn the business away and recommend that they talk to the other person you feel could serve them better, you're doing the right thing. You're serving them. But see, it's also serving you. And here's why. See, when you give without expectation from a place of empathy and kindness, being the example, being resourceful, not pleasing and enabling, you receive without resistance. Give without expectation, receive without resistance. See, it comes back. Maybe not from the person now that sought you out earlier and you've referred them to someone that could best fit their requirement, but it comes back, in this case, probably even a better situation for you. It's called trusting the process in the moment. We are tied to the moment that leads to the results we seek. We're not tied to expectations, to outcomes where we're operating in the past and the future. Trusted advisors have the ability to use certain disciplines and habits like meditation and journaling daily, reading books daily, working out, to get their mindsets in the moment from a growth mindset to be laser focused and knowing by trusting the process of giving without expectation, receiving without resistance will lead to the results we seek. So with everything that you've heard here, what are you going to do now to level up? Not only for you, but the people you love and the people that you serve. What are you going to do to be the example for others to do the same in leveling up? Ask yourself, from what you've gathered here today, during our time together, if by leveling up, becoming a trusted advisor, could that make a difference in your business? But more importantly, could that make a difference in others that you serve? Remember, you're not going to be everything for everyone, but you're always going to be something for someone. Allow yourself to focus on those people where you connect on shared values. Continually provide value, being consistent with that value and allowing them to draw their own conclusion. This is a year that we have the capability of doing great things as trusted advisors. coming together in an interdependent versus a codependent way. And there's more opportunity than there ever has been before. Don't get caught up with the competition and trying to outdo one another. Get together and collaborate how you can serve one another. There is plenty of business for everyone. Prosperity is everywhere when we can trust the process in the moment, giving without expectation and receiving without resistance. I wish all of you have much success this year going forward, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the Level Up Summit. Again, my name is Chris Salem, and it's been a pleasure to serve you here today.